Hello, welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. Today we're in our state's capital and we're talking to our lawmakers about the bills they're working on for you. My guest today is Republican Representative Joel Kretz. He's from the 7th District, which covers Northeast Washington. Joel, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Now, you've sponsored a bill that would deal with some DOE letters that are going out to a wide variety of people, particularly our farmers and our growers, that they're quite concerned about.
Right. It's based on some RCWs that allow the Department of Ecology to regulate and send letters out, warning letters out to producers based on the potential to pollute, which I think is too broad of a term. Basically what we're seeing is drive-bys, there's some cows in a field, and that's the potential to pollute. I would argue that that parking lot out there has a bigger potential to pollute than what most of the agricultural operations are. So we're just trying to tighten the definitions up and move it to more of a science-based approach of let's test, if there's a problem, let's deal with it.
Well, I think some of the people who have received these letters feel a little threatened or maybe concerned that a government agency might be coming after them when actually there hasn't been any testing done on the property to indicate that there needs to be any action.
Well, exactly. It's based on opinion. Basically, it actually says in the RCWs, in the opinion of the department, there doesn't have to be any testing. The bar is too low. I got one of these type of letters about 12 or 13 years ago, and that was one of the things that drove me to run for the legislature. So I've been threatening DOE, if you keep doing this, you may get more people like me.
And what's your opinion about gun control and the two possible bills that might be going forward as initiatives to our voters?
You know, I am very concerned that the so-called gun registration bill is more, well, it's actually, that's what it's headed for, is registration. It's not so much just the universal background checks. I think it's going to be universal registrations, and this is the first step. You know, we had a bill here last year that actually allowed law enforcement to enter private homes to check on how you're storing your guns. So that's something that really concerns me, and it's a progression toward losing gun rights.
And so for job creation in your community, keeping jobs and creating new jobs, always a challenge for all the districts in Washington. And what are you doing on that front?
Well, you know, much of my district is rural, and I've been focusing on streamlining permitting. We've got some of probably the worst examples in the state. We had a mine that it took 19 years to permit. 19 years, $100 million, and that's not construction, that's permitting fees. So you've got people that are interested in investing. I've talked to a number of investors that are interested in mineral potential, but they're saying we don't want to reduce the environmental regulations. We want to do it right. We want to do it safe and clean, but we have to have some surety, some predictability. We've got to know whether if we invest $100 million, do we get it back in, do we have a return with the permits in 5 years? Is it 10 years? Is it 20? And if the answer is anywhere toward the back end of that, they're not coming. So I've been working really hard on streamlining some of the permitting and regulation processes to where they have an idea when they can start getting a return on investment.
And then lastly, I have time for one more question.
Sure.
How do you feel that the budget talks are going at this far when we're just halfway through the session?
You know, this is obviously supplemental budget, so you know, we're not supposed to be doing big things. This year we're supposed to be tweaking the things that need attention from last year. You know, we're looking at some of the education funding. We have to keep going on with the McCleary decision and make sure we're fully funding schools. But I think we're making good progress. There's a lot of agreement around here that we're not going to spend the summer in Olympia again. So everybody's really pushing. Oh, Lord, I got out of here July 1st last year, so I'm not going to do that again. So I think we'll get done in 60 days with the necessary adjustments to the budget.
All right. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. We appreciate this. This is Joel Kretz in the 7th District. I'm Dana Cowley, and you're watching Charter Local Edition Northwest.